my
Sorry.
one of my colleagues said, why do you want this? And it really kind of shook my world, because no one had ever asked me like why I was making choices, big significant choices in my life that I was making. And it was a question that I'll never forget, like the feeling inside when she asked me that question. It really bothered me because I didn't know the answer. I was just doing this because I thought I was supposed to, because no one had ever asked me why I was actually doing this.
Yeah.
So that was, I think, for me, the most powerful question, because I just felt like I was going through steps because I was supposed to.
So what happened? Like when they asked you that, I mean, sure. And I really appreciate you sharing so vulnerably that it was, you know, like you didn't know when it really threw you off your game. What did you find out when you started thinking about it?
No one had ever asked me to stop going through the motions and actually examine my purpose and my intent. No one had ever asked me to do that, and I had never asked me to do that. And so I was certainly my world was rocked. I was bothered. I was embarrassed. I was so embarrassed that I couldn't believe such an elementary answer. I couldn't come up with one. So
like
I had
the first coaching question you've ever heard, right? Like, nothing like a coaching session when your coach asks you the question and you go, I don't know the answer. I don't know.
Right. And what was even more bothersome is this is my friend Kristen that asked, and Kristen was like, I think I must have been like 27, and she was like 24, and she was already in a PhD program and was writing a book. She was so in love with her purpose and so in love with what she was doing that I had nothing. Like I got nothing. And so I was older than her, and she was incredibly well established and had done these wonderful things. And I was also, I hold her even now in great admiration, because she always knew what her purpose was, and she was always happy with her purpose and satisfied with it, and it drove her and kept her going.
That's amazing. Cool. Oh, thank you for sharing. Okay, who wants to go next? I love this. I'm looking for hands. Hey, Loie.
Hi. I guess the question for me is, where are you from? And the reason is that it was said with the intent that I wasn't American, and it first informed me and then reminded me of otherness.
Otherness. Talk more about that.
Well, I mean, I was raised pretty much my entire life in 99.9% white communities, where even though I'd been there since preschool, you know, there were always people who were like, oh, where are you from? That I couldn't slide under the radar. And I always, I mean, and it pretty much, I mean, now it's usually, are you from the West Coast or the East Coast, or people who don't know me, who could literally, you know, realistically think I am from a different country. Well, I was born in a different country, but I was raised here forever. And if you talk to me, you would, and talk to me over the phone, you would never ask that question. So yeah, it's just, that's kind of where it was coming from.
Yeah, that's a huge impact. That place where all of a sudden you realize that, you know, there's these underlying assumptions about people, maybe even your first exposure to unconscious bias, right?
Yeah.
And believe me, I get that question a lot too. Every time I go to anything where I meet somebody for the first time, same question.
I think the sister of that one is, what are you?
Oh, now that I haven't had. Yeah, always. Yes, so yeah, you're not alone in hearing that question. Thank you for sharing. Who wants to go next? I'm looking for hands. I'm looking for faces on cameras. Mesa, are you going to go next? Awesome.
So,
Welcome.
it is funny because when you ask, I was frozen. You know what is the really powerful question? And I couldn't write anything. I couldn't. So when Rhonda told that what was her question, I remember one situation that maybe 6 months ago that I am example for everybody around myself. Okay, so I am like the leader, like everybody want to be powerful, like Nasa. But finally, I'm not powerful like people look me. So one day I told, I don't want dreams now. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what way I want to take. And I don't know why, Rhonda, when you told, I connect with this moment that is like, unless it's the reason I found Candy, because this morning I was looking about what I want to do or will do in Canada, no? So really, I think the question is myself, who myself did the question, why I have not dreams now, and why the people can see or continue looking me like example, but I feel I am not example for anybody now. You know what I mean? So this is, I don't know why I connect with Rhonda when she told that question, but I can say what is the question really.
It's probably because Rhonda is such an amazing person, in case you're wondering.
Thank you very much.
So listen, isn't that interesting? So I wonder what would happen. You guys know this, if I'm thinking of a question, I have to stare off into the distance. What would happen if you asked yourself that question, Nisa, and you weren't pairing it with having to be somebody's role model? What if there was nobody else there and it was just for you? What would be possible for you then?
Can you repeat the question? My English is the best. I am trying to do my best.
You're fine. And I'm happy to repeat the question and reword it in a way. So what you've explained to us so far is that you act as a role model for many people around you. And then now you've got this place of, I'm not sure what I would be or what I want to do. But what if you didn't have those things attached? Meaning, what if it didn't matter what other people thought of you, or if you were a role model or not, and you just asked yourself, what would happen? Would it be easier? Would it be harder?
It was harder. It was harder when I come here. So it's like every immigrant start zero, no?
Mhm.
So I needed to close my business in my country and come and start cleaning or whatever doing. And I have a lot of diplomas, so this is nothing for me now. But people look, hey, but you have this, you do that, you empower us, you always have the good word for us. But when I needed answer what I have no dreams is because I feel now I don't know who I am. You know what I mean? It's like I know my abilities or what I can do. I know I can help people. I love to that. But maybe I am frustrated because I tried several times and I couldn't start my business or building something with that, you know? So that's it.
You've got a lot of sort of questions behind your questions. So I would encourage you to journal more on this. And when you can journal more on that question about, the most powerful question, or who am I, or who do I want to be? If you can approach it from a place of lightness, like holding it lightly and being very curious, not under a magnifying glass looking for the perfect answer, approach it from a place of, I wonder what that might be. Like this place of almost playfulness. you'll find it easier to unravel. And just before we move on to the next person, Nesa, I want to remind you that you already are that woman, and the who you are wants you as much as you want it, right? Like it's looking for you at the same level that you're looking for that. Who am I? Who am I next? What do I want? It's sitting, looking, wandering around looking for you too. So treat it lightly, know that it's there, and it's not going to be hard for you to find. I'm so glad that you're here. All right, let's go to the next person. Just prior, Daniel, I'm hoping that you're going to come on camera and answer. But Donna, I know that you were a little bit late joining us, and welcome. I'm really pleased that you're here. The question that everybody is answering and that we're speaking about is this: what is the most powerful question anyone has ever asked you? And so after Daniel and I have finished chatting for just a couple of minutes, I'd love it if you'd come on camera and answer too. Okay. All right. So Daniel, what you got for me today?
It wasn't more of a question, it was more of a statement. This is when I was just started with a company, and I had lunch with some sales rep, and he said, I told him, it's what you know, it's not who you know, right? Or no, I said, it's all the education and things like that really gets you where, and he says, no, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And that's stuck with me ever since. For 30 some odd years now. And I think because of that, it's helped me gain more of a powerful connection with people or industry that I've been in, and that's helped me get where I want to go. I'm always intrigued about, I'm always curious about lots of things, and I always ask myself, well, who do I know that can help me in this area? And I am very determined in terms of finding people who know people in that specific industry. And that's helped me out tremendously in all areas of my life.
That's amazing. I love that. And I've heard that sentence before as well, but isn't it interesting that it just really resonated with you? It's just, you heard it and it's like, change your world in an instant just to hear that one statement.
Yeah, exactly. And then it went one step further, and I met another person who says, oh, I love that phrase, but it's not, there's more to it. And he said that it's, it's not what you know, it's who you know, but more importantly, it's the people that who they know. And wow, yeah.
I'm curious, is one of your biggest values connection?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's helped me gotten things that I've never been able to do. For example, I work at the TED conferences in Vancouver 1 weekend of the year. And that's through all my connections.
Cool. That's so neat. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Donna, hopefully you're going to come on camera and off mute, and you're going to share your answer. And I know I'm putting you in a tight spot with not a lot of lead time, but it's okay. This is a safe space and we learn from each other.
Well, I don't even know how to turn my camera on.
Okay. So down in the bottom corner, down in the bottom left corner, there should be something that says video.
Oh yeah, it does.
Click on that.
And then it says unable to access camera.
Oh, are you on your phone?
I am.
Ah, that's why. Okay. What you got for me? What is the most powerful question anyone has ever asked you?
Okay, does it have to do with business, or is this any question, any?
It's funny because I would say any question about anything, because we can't have a business, we can't own a business or be a solopreneur if we're not a human first. So any way that question came and just changed your world.
Okay, well, on that note, then, I guess the most powerful question that anyone has ever asked me was, do you know the Lord Jesus Christ?
Okay. Yeah. And how did that impact you when you were asked that question?
It impacted me. I mean, I do know the Lord, but that's a pretty powerful question because, well, it all depends on what you believe in, but there's only two places that we're going to go. So when we die. So it was a pretty powerful question to me.
How did it change your life?
Excuse me, Candy, what did you say? Can you repeat that, please?
Sure. How did it change your life?
It absolutely changed my life in all aspects. If you don't know the Lord, you're lost. And if you do know the Lord, he will not leave you nor forsake you. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And if you are in the Word of God, it actually transforms you and renews your mind and makes you a better person. And you're on the winning side and you're able to fight every battle and overcome any trial or obstacle, or you have an awesome friend. He's the best physician in the world. It changes your life completely. So I'm glad that I have the Lord on my side, and he's the center of my life. He's the foundation. He's my rock. And if you don't build your life on a strong foundation, then you don't really have anything. So, and if you have your life built on a strong foundation, you can build your business on a strong foundation, and a strong foundation stands. It will not sink. So, and it will not crumble. So
Thank
I'm
you.
glad I know the Lord, and that was a pretty powerful question. And I'm glad I was able to answer it.
Yeah, right. And even when you arrived late, and I saw your note. Thanks for the little note about, sorry that you came late, but that's okay. You're welcome here no matter what. Okay. So what was that like, you guys? What did you think about answering this question and then learning from everybody else in the group too, what their responses were? Was that helpful? Yeah. Okay, good. I love it. All right. Next question. I feel like. So the next one is a little bit longer. So if you had no constraints, you had all the resources in the world, you had unlimited time, money, energy, what project would you do and why? And again, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to answer, and then we'll go around the room again. Let me know if you want me to repeat it.
Yes, could you repeat it, please?
Sure. If you had no constraints, unlimited resources, unlimited time, unlimited money, what project would you do and why? Another 20 seconds, and then I'll ask you to come back. Feel like I'm a adjudicator asking you to put your pens down. Pens down, everybody. All right, who wants to go first? I want to hear what came to your mind when I asked you that question. Hey, Rhonda.
I'll go first again. So not to hog all of the firstness.
It's okay. Heavy,
but-
you know what? It's the heavy driver thing, right? I'm a heavy driver. I'm always putting my hand up to go first too. So.
Oh, excellent. Good. Because I'm not the ever kid. I never sat in the front row of any class. So this is okay. I'm, as you know, like I think that love drives everything and is the answer to everything. And I was thinking even about what's going on in the Ukraine right now and thinking about whatever I did for the resources with no constraints, it would somehow be a way to bring to grow relationships and connection and empathy and respect and appreciation of all people to others. I don't know what that would look like. I don't know if it would be like an academy or a movie or a documentary, but the purpose of that would be the purpose of whatever I was doing would be to kind of lower the temperature on the hatred and disrespect and anger.
How would you do that?
That is the big question, isn't it?
Well, what pops into your head?
Well, so because I'm a brain-driven person, I'm like, well, could we create seminars? Could we have, could we create a body of work that could be shared with everyone to educate people? But I have to remember that sometimes for people who are driven by fear, an academy and some way to provide intellectual stimulation probably will not alleviate that fear. So it would have to be some kind of analysis of how do we alleviate the fear of people who are full of hate and anger in order to make them feel comfortable in the world and give love to themselves and others. So I know that this is not a fully baked idea.
Yeah, well, you had 2 minutes, so why not? Come on, right?
Yeah,
I gave you exactly 2 minutes to do that.
Exactly. Yeah, so if I won the $58 million lottery, or whatever it was the other day, I guess I would think of having to create some kind of foundation that would try all things. Try it, try, measure, see if it worked, try again, reiterate, see what does work.
Yeah, so maybe the, there's not necessarily one path, right? It's the finding what works. So different people, different faiths, different learning styles can all get something that works for them. Like I just listened to Sean Acor's interview on Oprah's Super Soul Sunday. I know it's an old interview, but just the experiment that they did on happiness about if you're within 10 feet, make eye contact and smile. And if you're within 5 feet, say hello. Just the impact that had on people's minds and their behavior, the long-term impact, you think that's amazing. Like to do something like that around coming to a place of kindness or eradicating fear and hatred, because of course those are the same thing, right? Fear and hatred over and over.
Yeah.
You got me thinking. I love that. Thank you.
Good. I will expect your answer very soon for what you would do.
I'm sorry. This is not a two-way thing.
Hard here.
Be asking you questions. All right. Who wants to go next? Thanks, Rhonda. Appreciate you. Loie, come on.
I'll go second again.
Yeah.
Rhonda, I think you and I have a destined meetup here. At first I thought about circumnavigating the Mediterranean, and then I thought that's kind of selfish and I don't need unlimited money to do that. I could do that tomorrow if I wanted to. And then I thought about medicine without borders and engineers without borders. And then I thought, what about coaching across continents? And I don't know what it would look like, but I would include Lin-Manuel Miranda, the guy who does Humans of New York, and Jose Andres and Rhonda. And we could just do something that brings coaching ideas across borders, boundaries, whatever.
Yeah, and it could be called Coaches Across Borders, right?
It could be, although I like the alliteration of coaches and continents.
Yeah. just a comment for you, Loie. I don't know if this is something that might be of interest, but I've done pro bono coaching for years with the Humanitarian Coaching Network.
Oh.
And they create, the fellow's name is Jason Agani. He created a number of contracts and relationships with different UN organizations. And then they pair you up with somebody who wants, I think it's somewhere between 4 and 6 hours worth of coaching. And so you get to talk to all kinds of interesting people throughout the world who are, you know, boots on the ground, making that difference. And it's a really interesting thing. So I can send you his info. I'll just send you the link to the website, and
That would be
I've
cool.
been doing it
Thank you.
for, yeah, no problem. I think I started in 2015, maybe 2016, and it is one of the most fun things that I do. Just sort of a quick little story for you guys. The very, very first assignment that I did with this Humanitarian Coaching Network, I was a new coach. And I was assigned to this woman, and I was like, great. So, you know, I wanted to get my coaching hours. And so I sent her an email, and I heard nothing. And then I sent another email, and like 3 days later, and I heard nothing. And then I could just see my little ego judgy self coming, how dare she not respond? And, you know, doesn't she know she put her hand up for coaching and she's not responding? And I really want to get going on this, you know, I, all about me and my ego. Third time, no response. And I'm like, forget it. I'm giving up on this. She's not responding. She'll respond when she's ready. Well, about a week later, I got an email from her apologizing for not getting back to me sooner. But she happened to be working on a project where she was an engineer, and she was in charge of creating a freshwater drill and putting in wells in the remote Himalayas. And there was no internet access in that area. So she had not seen my email. And I was like, wow, well, that's interesting, right? Like, no wonder you didn't respond. And here's me with my I thing happening. And then it was the most wonderful coaching engagement. I'll never forget that. That was like a big lesson for me, you know? Like, how many people go and put in wells in the Himalayas? And, you know, like nobody that I know. Anyway, thank you for sharing. So maybe there's some kind of like a coaches across continents, but I'll definitely share that link.
Thank you.
I'll share that with you, and maybe there's something there for you. Okay, who wants to go next with my question? I don't know if you guys can see this on the screen share, but right now there's ravens that are out front and they're flying away. Nesa, come along. I'd love to hear what you have to say. So if you had no constraints, unlimited money, unlimited time, what would you do? What project would you do, and why?
That I always, since I was young, I want to open the center, but it's not like community center, but it's holistic center, because I love internet, but I love more touch, be in contact, like somebody only needs looking their smile face and feel one hug for be different life. So I want to open the like place. I want go live from the waterfront. So I imagine what the like big place where people can come, listen conference on only meetings. People can talk about their pain, their sad situation, and can find like new view. So that I can love to that. But okay, in this case, it's physical. So I need house, I need the place. It's not, so I need money.
Okay. Interesting. And just that place of connection. That place of connection, Nisa, where they could come and talk and just be part of a community in some way and be seen and heard and to know that they matter. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Cool. Thank you.
I think that people need have family. Doesn't matter, it's not blood ties. So it's sometimes you need feel that you are with somebody and that you are somebody too, no? No, it's not only other and feel the same, and we are the mirror. So sometimes we can learn more about myself when I'm listening you, when I'm looking other situation the same, and we connect inside. Is my understanding.
Wonderful. Cool. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Who's going to go next? Daniel, Donna, you guys are going to have to put up your hand. Oh, Daniel, you've already taken
I'll
yourself
go.
off mute. All right. What you
I'll
got?
go next.
Okay.
So my ultimate goal is helping 1 million people change their lives. It used to be 10,000, but it got too easy, and I thought, let's do 1 million because that's scary, right? The BHAG, the big, hairy, audacious goal. So I thought I'd do 1 million, and then I did a workshop, and someone said, 1 million's easy. I said, what do you mean? Just go to China. There's 1 billion people there. Just influence 1% of the people, and there's 1 million. So it's all in your perspective, right? But I need to learn Mandarin. So I go, no, you don't. You just need to find a translator.
Oh, interesting, right? How quickly
Yeah.
the things that you think might be an obstacle are really just like a different person's brain can see that there's a quick way around it. Oh, I
Yeah,
love that.
because I'm focused on that, and then all of a sudden some comes and just opens it up for me.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. And so how would you impact this 1 million people? Tell me about it. I'm curious.
Perhaps branding myself more towards the Asian culture for coaching, because I know I'm doing it well here, and it's just kind of going to a different culture. My parents are Chinese, so that might help, right? But you know, there's that connection again, talking to people who I know who might know people out there that can help me get there.
I love that. Isn't that neat how you've got that theme of connection and then to bring it here? Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. I've got lots of ideas on how you could do it, but we're here to coach, not for me to tell you. So
Yeah.
You can see my brain. My brain is like, you could do this and you could do that. Right? Like so many.
I do that all the time to my clients as well. So
Yeah.
I don't tell them. I help them discover.
Nope. That's not our job. I'm a bossy sort, so I do kind of go into that telling place, but oh well, that's life, man. Thanks for sharing. That's great. Yeah. Donna, what about you? What would you do?
Well, I tried to turn my camera on. That's how
you
I
did.
got
I can see you. It's amazing. You did great.
Oh boy, but I tried to do it and I got disconnected. But anyways, okay. So what I would do is if I had unlimited money, I would keep some, give some away, and save some. I would make sure that my family was okay, that they all had houses, and put my last child through college and pay for that in full. Make sure that my kids were taken care of. And if I had all that money, I would give it away and help someone and people that needed help. Like there's so many places in the world that need help, whether it be on the mission field or, you know, doing whatever, you know, these places need help with, to help them, whether it be, you know, helping children to get food to eat, or places that, you know, don't have churches, to build churches and get them to know the Lord, and however I could be of help. You know, if there's a facility where addicts need to go to help them to get to recovery, unlimited amount of money, you can help a lot of people. And if you help someone else, you're helping yourself. And that's where you'll find gratitude, is when you help someone and they can help themselves. That's all the gratitude that you need, and that'll take you further than you could ever imagine. So
sharing that. That's great. Okay, everybody. So you've all got ideas. So, you know, the coach in me has to ask you one more question, and I want to hear from you as well. So even though some of the ideas, like you had 2 minutes to think of something, what's the first thing that you can do to make that a reality? One small step. I'm going to give you a minute. And I don't think it should take you a minute. I think you guys know this. One small thing that you can do to move forward. But I will give you a minute. And then I'm going to drink my coffee. Thank you for that, Daniel. Who do I know that can help me make it real? Yeah. And this is really cool because it goes back to one of those core values that you've shared with us about connection. It goes back to that. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Loie, finish my coach training. Yes. And coach people. Just coach, coach, coach. The more hours, the better. Daniel, the question here, there's something that popped into my head when I was just thinking about you. Who do I know that can help me make it real? It just reminds me of the ripple effect of when that drop lands in the still pond. You only need to touch one person who touches one person, you know, and before you know it, 1 million people will be impacted. Rhonda,
Yeah.
create an right?
Yeah, it's when you say that, I keep thinking of that shampoo commercial going way back.
Fabergé, the old Fabergé commercial. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Tell one friend who tells one friend. Yeah, I think that was from maybe that was like 1975 or something like that. I think I was about.
We're dating ourselves.
It's okay. You guys know I'm old. It doesn't matter. So Rhonda, create an online community to find out if there's interest in this topic. Great. I love it. Will you do that?
I don't know. I do have other pressing engagements at the moment.
You think?
Yeah. I love because the question was, you know, if we have online resources, including, you know, time and money, but I am limited.
Yeah.
So, and I'm probably limited more with time than money. So I have to prioritize. I love the idea. If it were infinite, then this is what I would do, but it's not. I am finite.
Okay. But, and like that word, but you know what the word but means, right? It's behold the underlying truths, right? So there's me with my but.
I've heard that.
Can't imagine who you heard it from. Anyway, so but behold the underlying truth is that if something random pops into your head when you think of what project you would do if you had unlimited resources, and we know that we are limited beings on this planet, but we can still do a little bit. And in that doing a little bit, we actually add to the collective of making it real and live. So maybe the one step isn't an online community. Maybe it's using something about your coaching skills or listening skills, about using that to teach empathy from a completely different perspective.
And I certainly hope that I've been doing that.
I think you have.
But yeah, yes.
More of the same, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Ah, lovely. Nesa, I am doing now. I'm looking for people, know what I can open my business. Okay, so tell me, Nesa, I'm a little befuddled here with your answer. I think you probably were thinking quickly and typing at the same time. What you got? What's the one small thing you would do?
I think that I am doing in this moment my small action because I started this morning, okay, what more excuse I can find for myself, no? And I start writing a coach and a therapist in Canada and for try understood the business here. So I for you, and you say how this is 5 steps for one blog that how you open the business in Canada, coach, and that. So I told, okay, I know I need try understood because I need to improve my English. But when I read your blog, I found 2 or 3 steps that I say I thought for myself is okay. This is I need to ask. I don't have all information about that. I have abilities. I am life coach, health coach, brand coach, or whatever, but I am doing nothing. So I thought, okay, I need know people that with knowledge about that, ask about that, and move. It's maybe can only move when how I can open the business, but I need a start. It's no, I will continue cry for myself. Oh, poor Nasa, but it's not poor Nasa. It's Nasa need move.
At least you have a sense of humor, right?
Yes, yes.
And I have one more comment here, Nesa, too, is that you arrived on this call. There are many people who are registered to attend this live call, and only a certain number of people find it the priority to arrive on the call, right? So you're here, we're talking about it, you're learning something, you've met some other people that are in the coaching space, and you'll have other ideas. So
Yes, yes, it is.
Donna, I think you're the last person. Are you going to come on camera and tell me, or are you going to put it on the chat? Why is my Zoom looking weird today? There's my Zoom.
Can you see me?
I can see you. What's the
Oh,
one
okay.
small first step?
Okay. Well, hustle. I gotta hustle. I'm doing network marketing, so, and I'm new to this. So I have a lot to learn. I have to know how to do this. I need to find prospects that want the same thing I want, and that is to, grow the business. And I have a lot of learning to do. I have a lot of education I got to get done. But I want financial freedom. I want financial time. Time freedom. I want to be able to stay home and take care of my son and work from home. So I have to hustle. And I don't want to waste my
I want you to
waste my
narrow,
time.
sorry, I'm just going to interrupt you for a second here. So as a coach, I want you to narrow it down to one small step. Like when you say hustle, there's not anything that you know that you're done, that you've complete. So what one small thing could you do? Is it a specific training you could listen to? Is it reaching out to an individual, an actual person that you already know? Is it what? So what's one thing? So then when you're finished with that thing, when you check it off your to-do list, you know that you've made progress. What would that one thing be?
Just finding the right people. Knowing where to go to find the right people.
So that's your first thing. Find, and I know there's a little bit of feedback, but that's okay. Find a community where people that you like to be part of, where they are. So that's your thing. That's the one thing for you to do. Sound make sense?
Yes, and I attended that Potapalooza that you sent out a message. That was very inspiring, very helpful. that was great. So thank you for that invite.
You're totally welcome. Awesome. Okay, you guys, our time is done for this week. Was that useful? Doing these questions? Yeah, I thought so. And then just a couple of things, just to observations that I wanted to share with you as well, is that I like hearing everybody's answers. I find that that inspires me in other ways. And sometimes maybe one of the things that one of you shared or had the courage to share, it inspires me about something completely different. So I appreciate that, just creating this sort of place of sharing and hearing your perspectives and hearing what's, you know, what comes up for you. The other thing that I like is it's really, life is busy. And so often we think we're going to sit down and spend a little bit of quiet time and do some self-reflection. But that's one of the things that's so easy to put off to the last minute. And so by joining me here for this 1 hour, you've kind of given yourself the gift of, this is the place that I'm going to settle in. I'm going to do some self-reflection. I'm going to start my week. And then hopefully it transfers on to the rest of your week. So wonderful. Any last closing words? Anybody want to say anything before we sign off for today? Nope, we're all done. Thank you.
Thanks, Candy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Rhonda. Thanks, Loie. Nice to see you.
Bye.
Nice to meet you. Donna, good to meet you as well. Daniel, good to see you.
Hey,
For
Candy.
the
Daniel,
beautiful
you should
scenery.
go. I have a should
Candy.
for you. Have a look in the podcast world. I bet you could impact 1 million people by the end of the year if you did
Ooh.
something in that area.
That'd be cool. I even have all my audio gear to set that up. So
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
one question last week we were talking about that CBC marketplace thing, and
Yes. Right. Thank
Can
you
we
for
do it next
reminding
week?
me.
can we do that
No.
next week?
Yeah. Well, couldn't we just talk about it just for a couple minutes here? Just
Sure.
okay, let me stop sharing. I want to see. I'd like to see you face to face while we talk about it. Come on the camera, please. So the context here is in CBC is one of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. It's a mainstay in Canadian culture. And they did an expose on the life coaching industry. And they came up with some very interesting life coaches who were, I don't know, like a combination of crooks and charlatans and advice givers and just all kinds of stuff. So I'm still recording, so this will be included in the recording as well. And I did listen to that and I watched the whole thing, Daniel, and it does highlight a problem. I agree, it highlights a problem with this industry of coaches. What I noticed though is that they didn't give us any context to how many coaches they actually spoke to who were not like were true coaches, well-trained, credentialed coaches with, you know, that ascribe to a code of ethics, right?
Mhm.
So I know that there's people out there who are, you know, just kind of winging it, but I don't think that CBC did an accurate job of displaying the variety of coaches who, you know, I mean, as
Mhm.
you know, anybody in the coaching field, there's many of us who have hundreds, if not thousands of hours of training and practicum and oversight. And so they gave us a tight lens that made everybody, you know, make their eyebrow raise as opposed to an overview of the industry. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think most news or radio, all they want to do is focus on the negative and show how bad, you know, what other industries are, and they don't focus on the good coaches.
Yeah, yeah.
And I even
Totally.
put a comment on their site. You know, it'd be nice if you could help us find a way to regulate this industry.
And, you know, and I would have also have liked if they had actually spoken to one of the directors, the ICF directors. You know, I was on the board of the ICF for 4 years, and these people are stellar coaches. Like they're people that
Mhm.
you're proud to be associated with. And why didn't they have one person who is associated with a governing body like an ICF and talk about the challenges of what it's like to try to regulate an entire industry and talk
Yeah.
about what is available for people who have that desire to be a coach and still and want to do it, the right way, like in a repeatable professional way. So I was curious about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just hope I hope this just help the industry become regulated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I used to think that, and now I just don't. I found
It
that
could
the
be
less
a never-ending battle up the hill, but
exactly.
raise the awareness.
Yeah. And so my contribution I'm associated with the ICF. I'm a credentialed coach. I was on the board for all this time. And that, like, if each of us take a firm step in what we think is the right way, but we can't control other people's behaviors or their thoughts or what they do. So,
right. What I've been doing, I've been sending a list of questions for my prospective clients to ask the other coaches.
good idea. Yeah,
And that
really
helps
good
them
idea.
clarify as to who they should hire.
Yeah. That's a very good idea. Good approach. I like that. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. I have some
Okay. Well,
thoughts.
thanks
I have
for
some
looking at
thoughts.
it. Yeah, thanks for watching the video and commenting on it.
Yeah, and I liked
bugging me.
your comment as well. So you saw my liking your comment as well. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to leave you guys. It's time for me to go to the beach. Thank you for joining me. I'm glad you could join me on my vacation. We'll talk to you soon.
Enjoy.
Have fun.
Bye-bye.